Well, we are now in our third week of Advent, and the focus this week is on the birth of the spiritual power of love. Can this spiritual power of love create a bridge? Is this spiritual love available and strong enough to create a bridge between what appears to be opposites in this physical realm? Well, what is this spiritual or divine love? Unity co-founder Charles Fillmore, in his book, The Revealing Word, writes that divine love is impersonal. It loves for the sake of loving. It is not concerned with what or who it loves, nor with a return of love. Like the sun, its joy is in the shining forth of its nature. That type of love might create a bridge. Well, he also wrote that love is the pure essence of being, the pure essence of God. Love binds together the whole human family. Of all the attributes of God, love is undoubtedly the most beautiful. In divine mind, and that's another word for God, love is the power that joins and binds in divine harmony the universe and everything in it. Divine love is the great harmonizing principle. Yeah, I think that type of love just might create bridges. So this spiritual power of love is kind of like the God glue in the universe. It is that sisterly or brotherly agape type of love. It's not romantic love. A love that by now, in the evolution of us human beings, well, we should be seeing a bit more of that, don't you think? Don't you think by now? By now? Why aren't we? Well, some might say it's because of today's political divisiveness. Others point to all the wars and violence. Still others say it's hatred and bigotry. And many lay it at the feet of the media's focus. Yes, there is a lot that is working against love, which only makes many believe that it is the worst of times. Well, I don't know if this is the worst of times or maybe the worst of your times, but there was a time when people and circumstances and oppression might have been considered worse. You know, Jesus was born, and yes, he was a real person. He was born during the reign of King Herod. Truly a dreadful time in the history of what was already a troubled and turbulent land. King Herod was the Roman appointed king of Judea, and he ruled with a firm and violent hand. While there is no evidence, except for the Bible, that he ordered the death of all the firstborn so that the baby Jesus could not fulfill a prophecy, Herod was known for being paranoid and killing any perceived threat. It was a time of great poverty, oppression, and mass killings of any type of opposition or revolt. There was no due process at all. And to make things even worse, there was often warfare between rulers of different regions, but who were all supposed to be on the same team, loyal to the ultimate oppressor of Rome. The people at the time were truly powerless and lived in constant fear of their kings and their armies, as well as being in constant fear of hunger, disease, and death. Not a time in history when spiritual love was really evident or could even be thought of as appearing or creating bridges. And yet, this is when Jesus and his teachings were born. There's an author by the name of Madeleine L'Engle, and she wrote a poem entitled "The Risk of Birth." This is no time for a child to be born, with the earth betrayed by war and hate, and a comet slashing the sky to warn that time runs out and the sun burns late. There was no time for a child to be born in a land that is in the crushing grip of Rome. Honor and truth were trampled to scorn, yet here did the Savior make his home. When is the time for love to be born? The inn is full on the planet Earth, and yet by a comet the sky is torn. Yet love still takes the risk to be born. Love still takes the risk to be born. Love needs you and me, to take the risk of giving birth to this amazing spiritual love. A love so strong, so fierce, so courageous that it can build bridges. We are spiritual beings creating this human experience. And our task, our mission, even if we view it as a mission impossible, we are being asked to express this spiritual or divine love as us in this physical realm. And then as divine love for us to build bridges. And certainly one important aspect of spiritual or divine love is unity, oneness. In the Gospel of John, chapter 17, verse 24, in a prayer to his God, Jesus said, "The glory that you have given me, I have given them, so that they may be one, as we are one. I in them, and you in me, that they may become completely one." I wonder how this sounded in Jesus' time. Did his words sound lofty, impractical, impossible? Did they think he was crazy? To you in today's world, does Jesus' words sound a bit too lofty, too impractical, too impossible, too crazy? And yet the spirit, the power of love knows that we are all one, all connected, all belonging. We all belong, even in this day and age where so many feel disconnected, separate, misunderstood, and alone. Even in this time of great political divide and of seeming lack of the evidence of love. Our human eyes and ears see and hear everything but love. everything that keeps us apart, everything that wants us to see each other as the enemy or the other. Everything around us shouts that we are not to reach out in love, but instead to step back and protect ourselves, to shield ourselves, to respond in kind, but certainly not in kindness. Martin Luther King Jr. is credited with the quote, "Violence begets violence." King believed that violence is a destructive spiral that multiplies evil instead of diminishing it. He said that violence can't establish the truth. It can't murder the lie. It only increases hate. And of course, the Reverend King would have been familiar with the biblical quote from the Gospel of Matthew, when Jesus said, "Put your sword back in its place, for all who draw the sword will die by the sword." And certainly, we have witnessed this principle over and over again, even if war and violence seem to create a victor. The Union soldiers won the Civil War, but did that put an end to racism? Did a lasting equality win? The Allied forces overcame Hitler, but was that an end to prejudice or hatred of the other? Albert Einstein said that we can't solve problems by using the same kind of thinking we used when we created them. So why not try something different? Why not try embracing, expressing, and being divine love in the world? Why not take the risk of giving birth to divine love in such a time as this? Remember, Charles Fillmore stated that divine love is impersonal. It's got nothing to do with you. It loves for the sake of loving. It's not concerned with what or who it loves, nor with the return of love. And like the sun, you can experience love and joy just shining forth of that nature of divine love. This type of love is the remedy. It is the bridge between our seeming separateness from each other. This spiritual or divine love sees within to the real person, not the personality, but the inner Christ person. The love that is not dependent on what the eye sees or the ear hears. Rather, the love that builds bridges from one soul to another. The spiritual power of love, like all spiritual powers, begins within. And at first, when we seek to express this love, it might not seem all that powerful or strong. But it is the type of love that needs to be nurtured by you. A love that you tenderly hold in your mind and your heart. And in time, this love will be strong enough, mature enough to be expressed by you in this crazy world. First, for maybe just short periods of time, and then as you continue to live in and express this love, it will become you, for it is your true nature. It is the love that dispels darkness, that wipes out hatred, that makes all things new, that builds bridges and connects people, erasing fear and anxiety. So, do we run out and hug everybody? Well, maybe, maybe not. Okay. Maybe we just show up as a bridge builder. We listen more. We seek to understand. We respond to issues without attacking people. We choose a different way to respond, if we respond at all. As a nation, we do seem to be a bit more reactive. It doesn't seem to take much to get a quick negative reaction from someone. Sometimes I'm stunned by what I perceive as an overreaction, and luckily I'm too shocked to say anything. And yet, those are the times when divine love can build a bridge. It can be expressed as silence or just a smile. I've been finding some wonderful things on Facebook. I know. Who would have thought, right? And so I found this. I don't know who wrote it, but it says, as the world fights to figure everything out, I'll be holding doors for strangers, letting people cut in front of me in traffic, saying good morning, keeping babies entertained in grocery lines, stopping to talk to someone who is lonely, tipping generously, waving at police, sharing food, giving children a thumbs up, being patient with sales clerks, smiling at passerbys, and buying a stranger a cup of coffee. Why? Because I will not stand to live in a world where love is invisible. Join me in showing kindness, understanding, and judging less. Be kind to a stranger. Give grace to friends who are having a bad day. Be forgiving with yourself. If you can't find kindness, be kindness. Yeah. Amen. Yes, absolutely. We are spiritual beings creating this human experience. Our task, our mission impossible, is to express this spiritual or divine love as us. And then, as divine love, to build those bridges so we can all truly live in unity. This time of Advent, it's a time of preparation. Yeah, it seems like it's a time of preparation for the big meal on Christmas. You know, it seems like it's a time of preparation for all the gift giving. But it's really a time of preparation for your soul. For your soul to be prepared to do something different, to be something different. Don't waste this precious time. Prepare your soul, prepare you to be truly a shining light of love. You don't need to wait till 2025. But it may take a little bit of work. So take the time. For this divine love, once invited and nurtured, is the love that can build bridges where there seems to be no possibility of creating oneness. Yet, it is the love that builds a bridge from one soul to another. May your soul shine divine love in the darkness, and may you shine like the sun wherever you go. Namaste.